Fantastic. Listen, we're live and I want to know who else wants to have more certainty during this current global crisis. And first of all, take a big, deep breath. I want to invite you just to be present with me in this moment, and I'm going to address a couple of key things. First of all, whether you're joining me live or you're going to come back on the replay, just drop down below. What are some of the things that are coming up for you that is creating, some of the stress? Like, what are the things that you feel most uncertain about? Let's have a look at those, and then we can have a bit of a chat and a conversation around some of the things that are coming up. And even if you're catching this on the replay, go ahead and drop it down below. By the way, if you really enjoy these videos and the content that's coming, do me a favor, do yourself a favor, so that you can get the reach of the content, hit the love button, share it, and also subscribe. Make sure if you're watching on YouTube replay that you're hitting the subscribe. So here's the question today, and the question is, who else wants to have more certainty during this current global crisis? I had a lot of people reaching out to me asking for some guidance, realizing that, oh my gosh, Katie, even one of my, in my mastermind group yesterday, one of the ladies said, you've been talking about what was going to happen 3 months ago. You got really strong with us and said, this is going to happen, bear my words, right? And they're like, oh my gosh, Katie, we're listening now. We're really listening. And hey, I want to tell you a story. I want to share a story with you. First, and before I really even go there, because my intention is to, hi Ramona, lovely to see you. My intention is to have you feel like you've got more control, which means certainty. And then I also want to make sure that, like, in this very highly emotionally destabilized environment worldwide, because of the globalized media frenzy to put you into a state of fear and control your perception, which means you will quickly and easily give away your power. The thing is, I want to be able to give you an opportunity of tuning back into feeling more certain on an internal state rather than an external state. I don't want you to feel triggered. It's likely you're going to, and if you do, I want you to understand that's your stuff with the deepest love, not me. What if and whatever stuff comes up, it's really important that you look at that and you clear it and heal it, because that's basically the nature of what's happening right now. If you're forced to a crisis, you're going to potentially be forced to confront all those things that you have suppressed, avoided, run away from, chosen not to face, try and keep under suppression and not look at. And there's a big reason for that, because most often if we're avoiding something, the nature of that means we don't necessarily have the skills or the tools or the emotional resources to be able to not only just look at it and address it and reframe it and resource ourselves through that experience, but to also transform it and transcend through that energy to a higher level in the emotional scale. So I've done a lot of training with Tony Robbins in the past, and I'm very grateful for a lot of the shifts that I've had in my life because of doing the training. I've done every course you can imagine with Tony, including the Platinum Partners back in 2011. And one of the key things that Tony Robbins shares is he talks about the 6 human needs. I'm going to split them and call them the 7 human needs, because I really believe that what normally is connected as love and connection is one. I believe that love is your most primary human need. It is the umbrella need, and it impacts the experience of everything else. So let's just put love right at the top as a big umbrella. And then there's other human needs that are really important. And one of them is certainty. And the paradox of that is variety or uncertainty. But here's the thing. Most people don't like to be given the surprise of something unless it is something that is, kind of a good expectation, right? If it's not necessarily a good variant, it becomes uncomfortable and it throws you off into the uncertainty if you don't have the emotional resources to adapt and deal and be comfortable being uncomfortable in the unknown zone. Here's one of the key challenges with certainty. Most people have put their power outside of themselves to be certain in their job, certain in the stock market, certain in their income at the bank, certain about their partner, loving them or not loving them, certain about what's going on, but it's all usually placed, that energy is outside of themselves. And if it's not, going their way, most people will try and consciously or subconsciously control and manipulate people and events in order to create that sense of certainty, right? But in this kind of experience going on right now, that becomes really difficult. Here's another one. The paradox between the next two human needs, which is significance and connection. Remember, I've split love off and I've put love in the top as the whole umbrella. But the significance is usually like, it's rooted in beliefs, faulty beliefs of I'm not good enough, I need to prove myself, I'm not lovable, so I need to do something or be significant in order to be lovable or accepted. And that is actually the paradox of connection, though, because often when you're energetically trying to prove yourself, you're actually disconnecting yourself from other people in order to be significant, to one up in some level or form. And this is across all areas of life. Includes the spiritual realm, right? I want to give a little love tap there. But there is the with the significance and the connection, that's the paradox there with that. Here's the key thing with both the certainty and the significance. If those two are your top driving human needs and they are outside of yourself, they're rooted in lower energy frequencies, well, then that becomes a really difficult place to be in an experience like this. And so there are two more human needs, which is growth and connection, growth and contribution, but it's very difficult to effectively be meeting those needs if you don't have love, certainty and variety, and significance and connection included first. And the thing is, when you have all of those needs actually connected from a high level source, an inside job, leaning in, doing, tuning into all your senses. I did a really great video for you yesterday. You can, if you're on the Facebook group, you can scroll down to the group. If you're on my YouTube, click onto the next video. That was just a day or two ago as well. But when you are tuning inwards, you're going to be tuning into your intuition, and intuition is in tune with energy, and you're in tune with the energy in the field. And so when you have that level of certainty that you can connect to the wisdom of all that is, you're essentially activating your psychic gifts, which everybody has and everybody can do, but it's a skill. And it's a skill that requires practice. And if you're not willing to do that skill and practice that skill and get effective at it, well, then you're going to be looking for things outside of yourself to create that certainty, to create that, even the variety, right? The drama, get caught up in all the drama. Because if you're bored, it's just the way, it's also another way to create certainty. You can hook onto something that you believe or you want to believe is true or not true, and then that creates some more certainty. So even like belief structures are it's really important to understand this, because especially I'm going to share something with you, Truth Bomb. There is going to be a huge global sharing of information coming up very soon in the coming weeks or months, probably weeks, which is going to reveal a lot of what's actually been going on. And that's going to challenge a lot of people. It's going to challenge a lot of people. It's going to create a shockwave and dealing with those beliefs that are no longer true, right? You thought they were true, they're not true. And that's going to create a wobble in the field unless you're tuning in and really assessing everything from your entire being. So you have, in a video yesterday that I mentioned, you also have three brains. You have the brain in your head, you have the brain in your heart, and you have the brain in your gut. You have neurons connected with all of those. When those are all in alignment and you're trusting all of those and you're tuning into those and you're practicing the skill of that, you can tune into the wisdom of the infinite, because everything is energy. And energy is everything. And we are a part of that electromagnetic field. When we're taking care of ourselves mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, and financially, we actually tune into all the energy of everything that is going on. And we don't necessarily need to be certain in making sure we've got the proof or the facts or this. Now, I'm not dismissing that those aren't valuable. They are. But is it true that there's been plenty of times when you've trusted your intuition and it saved your ass, right? And is it also true that when you had a knowing nudge, and you ignored it and it put your ass on fire? Right? So it's really important to make sure that you are really adding to the vault of your skill set, not just your I know that knowledge stuff, but applying it to be really tuning into your intuition, really using that emotional intelligence to be able to tune into the energy. Because I can tell you now, I've been doing this work for a long time and I love doing it. I love helping people do energy balances and connect. Particularly, I particularly work with healers who are then go out and do more of the healing, helping you to create and expand your own capacity so that you can hold that space for other people because you cleared the emotional debris, the triggers that are in there, right? But, you know, quite often I hear a lot of times from people, oh, I'm trusting my intuition. And I'll call them out. I'll say, no, you're actually freaking out in your fear. You're avoiding something because you're masking that as your gut instinct or fear or intuition. And it's not. I can tell you now, intuition will never, ever guide you through fear. Not once, not ever. It's always a heart activation. Your head, your mind will direct you with fear, and your experiences in the past or the beliefs that you've had projected and you've accepted as those beliefs as your own, they can become part of the memory in your energy field. And so if you haven't dealt with some of those energetic trauma blocks, and traumas are significant for every different person. You can have, you know, a minor thing that becomes a big trauma block for someone else, or someone else can have a tolerance to an incredible amount of trauma before they're really in a state of blockage, right? Blocking the life force flow. But you've got to clear those so that you can activate the heart field to be able to trust your intuition, to be able to move forward. If you're coming from the head because of those experiences, those beliefs that you've adapted or adopted, or you haven't actually resolved, then that's not intuition, that's fear. And you can you can be honest with yourself and check in, like, what am I operating from? Am I moving to move away from something because I'm afraid of the outcome? Now, granted, there are some real life potential threats that's an important thing to move forward, but that's just natural intelligence, right? Versus contracting and holding back from making a decision because maybe you had a little flash of insight, but then you felt, oh no, that's uncomfortable, that's unknown to me, I want to be certain, so I won't, right? And then you miss out on that opportunity. Remember, it comes back to those human needs that I was just sharing at the beginning of the video. So if you're just catching it now, make sure you come back and you watch it. So is this valuable so far, helping you work it out? And I've had some really good, I even had a really great energy block clearing call with a client today. I won't name it because I haven't asked for permission to share, but I won't be doing any identifiers, but simply, you know, it's so similar to almost every client that I work with. People come and they say, I kind of know what it's about, or the trauma or the thing that's blocking me, that, you know, I've worked on it, and it's all the time. I've worked on it heaps. I've done heaps of spiritual development, heaps of personal development, but there's just this one thing or something just still stuck. And every single time we go through a process with them to help them do the clearing, there's always this extra little piece I can help them facilitate to understand. We reshape it, resource it, and be able to clear that energy block so that we can have that energetic balance, have that level of internal certainty, have that level of peace required to bring you back to the present moment, so that your brain isn't ping-ponging from, oh my God, fear and worry and doubt, to, oh my God, fear and worry into the future, right? You know, so you're not ping pong from past to future, and you're never able to be able to create in the moment because you're in a survival mode when you're ping ponging like that. But when you calm down your nervous system, when you've cleared the energetic block, subconsciously there's no more threat. And so therefore you've got that energy to be able to direct into creating moving forward in the present moment. And that's something that's so valuable and so important, particularly right now. And so I was going to share a couple of stories, but I've decided that right now is not the right time. I'm trusting that, right? I'm going to continue to do lives pretty much every day throughout the week, and I'll facilitate that as it comes through. But right now, I really want to invite you to stay present and to be aware that this is a time to do the inner work. Now, everyone's getting locked down, or I think, you know, it's an opportunity really to be educated. And during this time, a lot of people find it very difficult because they don't have the distractions to avoid dealing with that inner turmoil that's been going on, sometimes for decades. And this is now the time to do that healing work. And it's an invitation to really step into that space and really go into the full clearing. And if you need for some help doing that, find someone who you trust that can do that. Certainly, if you resonate with me, I offer energy block clearings. In fact, right now I'm doing 75% off through March with this March Madness. There are limited bookings, but if you'd like to have one, I'll pop it in the link down below or the description box on YouTube. And you can grab one of those and experience it for yourself to be able to have that acceleration through that energy block, that you can clear it. Because, you know, when you're a fish in a bowl, you don't know that you're a fish in a bowl of water, right? You only know what you know. When you have someone else outside of you who can I do remote healing. I help you to be able to, I do a reading on your soul imprint. I can read your energetic body. My background is a personal trainer. Background is also as a paramedic. I'm also trained in a little bit in psychology and chiropractic and critical care paramedicine, but I'm also trained in a whole heap of modalities. But most of all, I'm trained in life experience, and I do a lot of energetic healing by seeing what the blocks are, helping you to facilitate that through, and empowering you to do it through the process. I don't do it to you. That doesn't empower you. I show you how to move through it. I show you how to clear it, and it's permanent. It's wonderful. You might have additional layers to address, but that particular thing is cleared once you clear that energy block. So if that's something that you feel like really resonates with you, trust your intuition, jump on one of those calls, go grab it. And if you feel like you still want to work through it on yourself, doing it on your own pace, that's fine too. Go ahead and do that, and just use this opportunity to really do that inner work. Be still, be present, tune inwards, get that certainty from your own soul, and be able to trust yourself that you can navigate the next step, the next step, the next step, with each of the elements that are going on and directed to you through the intuitive snapshots that are shared with you. Also, limit yourself from being in negative environments. Now, that's pretty difficult, especially if you're locked down with somebody else in the family who might be in the different energetic field than you. I know, I get it. I really understand you. But trying to control somebody else's thoughts and outcome is never going to benefit anyone else. Simply use that energy to redirect it inwards and really focus on your own energetic being. Go into prayer, go into intention setting, go into conscious creation. Just really go into deep gratitude, recognizing, wow, you know, I'm safe, I'm getting some time off, and I'm doing whatever. I'm spending more time with the kids, I'm getting out in the garden, I'm going for maybe a brief walk outside. If you know, get out into nature and do that if you can, where you are, so that you're still getting the nature of elements. And if you're at home, open up the windows, open up the curtains and blinds, let the sun shine in, let the breeze go through, let the elements touch you and feel you. Let nature really connect with you. But most certainly trust that certainty level, that's going to be wobbled, and everything that you have believed you've known is about to be shaken up. So be prepared to step into being comfortable, being uncomfortable, and shift your energy from being certain about how things are and should be to shifting into a certainty of, I can adapt to change no matter what it is. I can step up and rise into a high level of consciousness no matter what comes my way. I am a divine spiritual being having a human experience, and this is all part of the magic. This is an opportunity for me to be able to clear the energetic blocks that have been holding me back previously, for me to now fly forward in the highest version of myself. So when you choose to actually use your language and go into a more certain state, everything you put after I am becomes an identifier for you, what your identity gets connected to. You want to be more certain, then be certain that you are raising your vibration. Be certain that you can handle any situation no matter what. Because when you're in that state of being, you're going to be more resourceful, more present, more able to make quicker, faster decisions the more you tune into your intuition and be able to practice a greater presence that not only creates more certainty for you, but certainty for the people that are around you. And here's another beautiful thing. When you create that positive, high vibrational level of certainty, you also de-stress your system. When your system is stressed, you're activating your body into an inflammatory state, which means that you're going to be more prone to sickness because you depress the immune system when you're stressed. So you don't want to do that. You want to be focusing on keeping your level of certainty that you can stay calm amongst the chaos, that the storm will pass and everything will be fine and dandy and moving forward. And you know what? Worst case scenario, even if you're not fine and dandy and you cease to exist on this planet, I really firmly believe that the body is only a temporary vehicle holding the space of your soul, which is part of the collective spirit that gets to move on and transition into another level and an opportunity. That's a whole nother discussion, but I don't believe that like that's the end. I believe that there's an opportunity in it no matter what. So you need to tune into what it feels good for you, what that means for you, so that you can have a level of certainty and a level of faith that goes with it, that keeps you in a calm, present state of being. And therefore, you're going to make much better quality choices for yourself. You're going to be a much better advocate for light energy for your family and for the people around you. And just choose not to buy into any of the fear. Choose to be certain and focus on there is a solution, a very beautiful solution. And, you know, part of that is I really believe that there's a whole level of resources and information and energy and free energy and healing practices and healing modalities that will be revealed and unveiled for us in this next level, but available to you when you're tuning in your frequency to a higher level. And so that's difficult to comprehend even, like I've got a sense for it for myself, but I don't necessarily know what that all is. But it's practicing that ability to be comfortable being uncomfortable, that I don't have to be certain about knowing all the facts, knowing all the details for me to be calm. I can be relaxed in the moment and be present going, it feels intuitively, I feel guided, I feel safe, I feel like there's something really amazing and big coming and being revealed, and an opportunity, and lots of opportunities about to be unfolded, and being certain that I can handle the uncertainty. The more that you can do that, the more you can be comfortable being uncomfortable, the more that you can be certain that you can handle the uncertainty, the bigger that tolerance, that threshold, the more effective you're going to be moving forward. So if this was super valuable, please let me know. Make sure that you comment down below, hit the love button, and subscribe if you haven't yet with my YouTube channel. There's a whole lot more coming that way, and really excited to share with you. And if you do want one of those balance calls, make sure you go grab one, because they are being snapped up pretty quick, and I have a limitation on them as well. And I have my little one at home with me a fair bit, so it's kind of like doing the juggling act, just like everybody else. But I'm certain it'll all be worked out. Much love, light, and manifesting a whole lot of magic. Have fun.